All right, welcome in myself to my own show. Welcome in Mike to Forever Forward. Look, today's going to be a solo episode, and the reason is not because we have a lack of guests. In fact, it's kind of quite the opposite. We have had such an outcry of support from people that, reach out and want to share their stories on the show. And so we've got a fully booked July, we've got a fully booked August, and so I just want to thank you guys so much. The goal here is to highlight the fact that every quote unquote ordinary person has an extraordinary story to share. And I do believe that we've already done that in the first 10 episodes. And we're going to continue to do that and continue to reinforce that over the next 100,000, 10,000 episodes, however many episodes we get to before I kick the bucket here, we're going to do. And we're going to prove that, everybody's on their own hero's journey. And that's kind of what I want to talk about today, this idea of a hero's journey. And the title isn't clickbait. This podcast literally changed my life. And I will look back on May 2024, the day that I published my first episode on here, as the day that changed the course of what my life would have been into something that I will one day be very proud of. And look, I'm happy to share how much money I made from this. And, I'm not here to keep secrets, but I'll leave that till a little bit later. But that's not really what this is all about. It's not what this is about at all. Growing up, I always just wanted stability, and I don't feel this way anymore. But even as early as, call it 3, 4, 5 years old, my dad would come home from work and he would put his briefcase down, and I would take his briefcase out of his closet and I would go outside to our front door and I would knock, and my mom would answer the door, and I would pretend that I was coming home from work. All I kind of ever wanted was just to be somebody that had a stable corporate job and got up every day and did the same thing over and over, because look, I'm predisposed to anxiety, right? I'm afraid of everything. I get anxiety about money. I get anxiety about my career. I get anxiety about my relationship. And I've always been that way. But it's funny, I worked really hard my whole life to become that person that is stable. I got decent grades in high school, and then, attended a 4-year university and got a job, and I've been gainfully employed now for 5 years. And it's funny, the greatest fear I always had was that I'm going to be somebody that doesn't have the stability. And now it's I have it. I'm already almost there. And now the idea of doing, this for the rest of my life is terrifying. It's funny how that works, man. My greatest anxiety, the thing that I wanted to achieve the most, has become the thing that scares me, because I achieved it and I saw what it was like, and I'm grateful for it. I'm grateful for the work that I put in, and I'm going to continue to put the work in because I want stability, but I don't want it in the way that I've achieved it in the past. I've always been somebody that compares himself to others, even in my family. My father was a college football player, and that's pretty cool. My younger brother, has his own business. He's, 24 years old. He left corporate America and started his own thing. And that takes balls, man. My sister, she's much younger. She's in middle school, but she has a rare food allergy, and she beat that. She had a 1 in a million food allergy, and she beat that. So even she's got something that she can say, look, nobody else is doing this, and I did it. And I guess, to be fair to me, I do have sleep apnea. I have that, but I feel like a lot of guys have sleep apnea. And if you're not familiar with sleep apnea, that's the thing where you snore a lot and you kind of choke, you almost kind of to death when you're sleeping. But I never really felt like I had a thing that I could call my own, and I always wanted that. So I knew from a young age that my God-given ability was not math and was not science or reading or even athletics. I used to get tossed around in sports. I grew up playing football, and I got tossed around there. I also wrestled, and I literally got tossed around there. I actually a couple times, I lost to a girl. I can tell that story on another episode. If you want to hear that, let me know. But she picked me up and kind of walked me around the mat, and she slammed me down, man. She slammed me down and pinned me. And then I also played lacrosse, and I got tossed around there too. So I say all this to say that sports were never my thing, and neither was kind of the numbers. My thing always was like my ability to conversate and my ability to make people feel, I guess, comfortable. But I never believed that this was like a marketable skill. Talking. Like everybody talks. Everybody's got a podcast. And that is true. Everybody has a podcast. I've actually seen some animals that have podcasts. So like, look, everybody's got a podcast. And that kind of kept me from wanting to start this for a long time, right? This limiting belief that even if I created a podcast and I tried to, use my greatest skill, which is my ability to conversate and be curious about people, that it would never make me money or it would never grow because everybody else is doing it. And I think, to some degree, part of that is true right now. The podcast it's not huge yet. Someday it will be, but it's not huge yet. And it doesn't make me a lot of money yet. And the goal isn't to make money from this. But what this really is about is agency. And I think for the last 5 years, I lost a little bit of my agency in my own life. I kind of felt like I was in the passenger seat of every day, waking up, going to the office, working all day and night, coming back, being so drained that, I just get in my bed and go on TikTok and then fall asleep and do it over again. It just felt like I was living the same day over and over and over and over. And I think in the beginning, the allure of it was enough. It was cool to put a suit on. It was cool to sit in a room with senior executives. And like that actually is cool. That really is cool. But once you do it, or once I did it for, kind of as long as I did, it started to wear off, and I started to really think back at the beginning of this year about what I want to do with my life and what I like to do. And more importantly, what I don't like to do. And I kind of realized I've been living for the validation of a lot of other people. And maybe I'm being cynical about this, because it's a blessing to have a job, and I still have a job, right? And I'm grateful, to my bosses, and I really have learned so much. But if I'm being totally candid and transparent, which I always will be on this channel, I kind of had a wake-up call at the end of that last year. And that wake-up call was basically like, hey, man, if you don't start making steps to start living life for yourself, you are going to live your entire existence for the validation of other people. And do I really want those people to be the ones that get to decide when it's my turn to grow, or when it's my turn to take on more responsibility, or when it's my turn to have some autonomy and some agency in my life? And I think when I was younger, in my early 20s, my belief was that, who am I to think that I could navigate this life without their constant overwatch and guidance? Who am I to believe that without them telling me exactly what to do, I would know what to do? And I just kind of hit a point, man, where, I kind of realized, and Theo Von has said this, I can't wait for everything to be perfect for me to start living my life. And so I felt like my back was against the wall. And even though, in theory, starting a podcast earns you no money for a long time, I just got to work, and I turned the camera on and started recording. And here we are. And now I've got 500 people that subscribe to this channel. I'm creating something that has purpose and that makes me feel proud. And that I want to wake up every day and put hours into. And so that's how Forever Forward has changed my life. Forever Forward has showed me that I don't necessarily need to operate within the frameworks that other people set out for me. Forever Forward has showed me that, you can claim agency in your own life. You can reclaim passion. You can reclaim your sense of purpose. You can reclaim your identity. You can find joy in hard work. You can find joy in hard things. But it's also showed me that, building a good thing takes time, like a lot of time, because I'm prepared to work at this for the next 60 years. And I don't know, when my first video is going to be that I get over 1,000 views, or the day that I surpass a million downloads on Spotify or, 10,000 subscribers on YouTube. I don't know when that's going to come, but I'm grateful that Forever Forward is demonstrating to me like, hey man, if you want to make something good, you can do it. But, the universe is not going to give it to you. And I don't want the universe to give it to me. And look, we're not there yet, but we're getting there, and it's going to take work every single day for the next however many years. But I am so proud of myself for taking the step and starting to, drive my life towards that reality. And I think, I want to end with all of you guys. And I really mean it when I say this, that without you all listening, Forever Forward doesn't exist. If all of my videos got 0 views and my Spotify had absolutely no engagement, like, I don't know if I would be able to continue doing this. I would love to say that I could, but I don't know that for sure. So I can't say that with a straight face. And so, not only through you guys coming on and sharing your stories, but also through you guys just watching and every now and then dropping a comment like, hey man, I like this episode, or you did a good job. Like, that kind of stuff keeps me going. It gets a little lonely over here. I am happier today as I sit here than I have been probably since high school, honestly. But sometimes it gets a little lonely, and the occasional like, the occasional comment, the occasional email of someone that wants to jump on and, just have a candid discussion really does make this a whole lot easier. So I just want to say thank you to all you guys. How much money have I made from Forever Forward? I've made $0 from Forever Forward, and I don't think I'm going to make money from Forever Forward for a very, very long time. And honestly, I'm not really looking to make money from this, for a while. A lot of people ask me, like, the first thing they want to know is, the first thing they want to know is, why did you start the podcast? And I feel like I kind of explained that. But the second question I get is, how are you going to monetize it? It's like, why is that the second question? Why is that the first question that people want to know? What does that say about us? That, like, when I start something, the first question that people has is like, okay, how are you going to make money from it? Like, not everything needs to earn you money on the first day. And if you think that you deciding to start a business is going to automatically fill your bank account up with dollars on the second week, you're wrong. And look, I used to think that too, honestly. I've tried to stand up a few businesses in the past. I tried to stand up an electronics store that resells cheap headphones from AliExpress. That didn't work. I tried to start a clothing brand. That didn't work. I bought a bunch of inventory. I didn't sell anything because I was nervous to put myself out there on social media and promote it. My mother bought a sweatshirt, actually, so it's actually not true. But, third time's a charm here. I don't know if you'd call this a business. It's a podcast. It's a business. It's a whatever. This is me reclaiming my life. That's what this is. Okay, so it's none of those things. This is Mike reclaiming his life in real time with help from really good people that come on and share their stories. And someday this is going to make me money, and someday this is going to be my full-time job. But right now it's not. And right now I'm happy for it to stay that way. So I just want to thank all you guys for watching. If you like this, consider liking, consider subscribing, consider leaving a comment down below, right? If you like the solo episodes, I'll do more. If you want me to just, piss off and, only do guest interviews, obviously I'm going to do that as well. I would say moving forwards, we're going to have about 90% guests and then maybe 10% of me. So look forward to what's ahead. We've got some incredible guests coming up. And guys, I really love you all. I could not do this without you. And I'm going to continue to do it. So thanks, everybody, and have a great day.